What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into some more Anno 1800. And yes, it is finally time to officially add tourist season into our playthrough. Of course, we have been playing around with it for the last few days over on Twitch during early access. So if you ever want to join in on the fun on Twitch, we had several thousand people hanging out with us over the last few days over on the good old Twitch and everything, watching some sweet early access. So if you ever want to hang out with us over there, be sure to give it a follow at twitch.tv/takarazuka. So yes, we are now ready to actually add in tour season to our YouTube playthrough. So let's just go ahead and do that. We're about to have a lovely pop-up from a lovely lady. I say that. Maybe. She'll pop up at the most inconvenient moment.
We've not met
There she is.
before, have we? I'm a tourist, a holiday maker, if you will, and I've plans to spend my vacation here.
All right.
Such a quaint place you have. It could
Quaint.
be such a success
Girl.
for people like me.
Quaint.
But you'd need to expand
Whatever.
your public mooring. It's a tad drab for tourists.
All right, so we will... Oh, and there's this.
But what of beyond the sands? What pale walls and statues still stand?
All right, so there's a couple of things I want to get into real fast before we actually start the tourist stuff, and that is some of the big changes that came with the update and everything. You know, I'm gonna crank those voices up just a little bit. Get that master volume up some more, just so we can hear them talk, because there is some lovely dialogue. So I know a lot of you are going to be wondering about a lot of the big changes that came in. So if you have not been watching the early access content, so let's just take a look at a few of those real quick, just so you know what's happening. First and foremost, something a lot of people have been asking for is we now have a slow mode. This is 0.5 speed. If we get right here with our little festival going on, here's regular speed, we all know and love. And now there is a slow mode where it slows it down by half. So it's 50% slower. It is not an active pause. Unfortunately, the developers did say that an active pause was way too complicated to try to implement into the game engine at this point in the game's development cycle. But they did give us a slowdown mode, which is going to be very handy for a lot of you. You'll also notice over here we have a new event tracker. This event tracker shows us World Fair exhibitions, special visitors, and Research Institute developments. These will show up here now instead of under your notifications right there. So that is a really good thing. I also need to, for some reason all of my notifications got turned off. So I want those turned back on. I just don't want the trade stuff turned back on. And let me double check this. Yeah, okay. For some reason, all that had gotten turned off, and it was really confusing me the other day. All right, so there is the event tracker. There is the slow mode. And now here is something that I know a lot of people have been really interested in seeing. And if you have not already seen it, here it is. This is the forest tool. This allows us to replant forests. We can do mixed trees, regular deciduous, or fir trees. The mixed trees is, of course, you know, looks like this. Now, they do start small, and they will regrow over time, so it's pretty cool. This is part of the free update, by the way. If you don't have tourist season, no worries. You still get the tree regrowth tool. So now you can make all of your land super forested. It can be built on. It is not an ornament, so it acts just like any other forest. And this is available in all regions, including the Arctic and in Besa. Let's see. Beyond that, I don't think the Twitch drops are in yet. No, the Twitch drops are not in yet, but they will be very soon. There's been several nice little quality of life changes, things like that. Of course, there is the much hyped and much desired lighter grass texture. And actually, let me go in here real quick. If you go under gameplay, you can find right there, use light green grass colors. Now, if you want to turn it on or off, it does give you a pop-up. And it will let you it'll allow you to change all ornaments in your game that currently have one or the other. So I want to turn that off for a second just so I can show it off. So here's the green. Oh, well, is it going to do it? Yeah. Wait, did it? Come on. Yep. there is the green grass we all know and love. You know, that's the green grass texture everybody is used to, okay? Dark green kind of stands out like a sore thumb. So if we go under here and we turn this on, we select yes, we wait. Now it is a light green. Now you'll notice it is not transparent. Some people thought it was transparent. It is not transparent. It's just a lighter green color. The reason they didn't do it transparent is because they did give us this tree tool right here. So for places like, let's see, places like this right here, for example, where I had all of those ornaments and all the green grass textures, or, you know, put that back in here. I forgot to show it. So when we do like this right here, come on. Oh, that's right, Sloop. So you can still see, even though this is light green, you can still see the edges of it. Not as bad, but you can still see it. If we get rid of that, we go over here to maybe just our deciduous trees. Now we can just fill in. They do cost money to place, but they're pretty cheap. It's not a big deal. And once they grow up, they will look like natural green forests. So pretty cool options right there. You can also manually change any of them with Shift G, okay? So we can do Shift G and we can change all of them back and forth at will. So yeah, pretty cool changes right there. I'm really happy with that. The other big change, just so you're aware of it, is you can now see the amount of goods that are on a given island whenever you're creating a trade route. If I hover over my steel right here, you can see how much steel I have on each island. If I was to go in and want to load a new good up, say pigs, you can see I've got 5,100 pigs on Crown Falls, 276 on Multiway, and so on. So now you can see how many of a good is on an island. It's a pretty cool little feature. I thought that was really nice of them to add. All right, with some of that right there out of the way, let's get to what everyone's wanting to see, and that is getting all of our tourists up and running here. Our first one, I think, is going to go right here. But before we can do anything, we do have the tourist tab. We do have to have a tourist mooring that comes from your public mooring. Let's pop that sucker up. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see the changes here. So public mooring, we all know and love. Tourist mooring grows a little bit, gets a bit bigger tower, and we get a little pop-up that the tourists are coming to the city now. Yeah, we'll get another quest pop up here in a second.
Are a demanding lot, but I'd be happy to help you navigate our needs, if that'd help.
Yep. I do recommend doing this because it does start a reasonable tutorial and shows you how to do it all. Anything interesting here? No, let's just go ahead and publish that guy. All right, so the first things we got to do is a hotel and a bus stop. I'm going to go ahead and put my first hotel right here by the water. And I think we'll want to face it that way. And there it is.
A pied-à-terre at last. Breakfast at 9, I assume?
Oh, excuse me, I had to sneeze and I'm about to have to do it again in a second. We'll try to get through this. So we got our first hotel put down. And so now we need a bus stop. The first bus stop does need to be within range of your tourist mooring. So we're going to go ahead and get that guy put down right there. Here's our first bus stop. Lovely.
Transportation means travel. Travel means adventure. Onward!
All right, cool. We'll kind of replace that a little bit right there. I see.
People are starting to get sick.
There is a slight bug with a few things. Hopefully they'll have this fixed soon. There is a weird little bug where sometimes it will, yeah, see, it's still going dark green on me in a couple spots. Not entirely sure why. And I can't always change it. It won't let me shift it over. So sometimes you may still see green tiles on occasion. It is a bug. I have alerted them to that fact, and hopefully they'll have it fixed soon. All right, so the hotel is in.
The push and pull of the city. Such wonders. Into the fray, then.
She's very talkative, by the way, so be prepared for that. If you
Such a
select
lovely city.
If you select any tourism related stuff, you will see there is a new tutorial for tourist season stuff where you can go down through. It is extremely detailed. I definitely suggest reading it if you need help with it while you're in game. It is very, very, very nice to have. So I would definitely check that out. So when you first
This
build
is
your
what I
first
came
fos-
for. Free people, unafraid of.
I'm going to turn the audio down now on the voices until we get to some stuff that I know is actually important. So when you first build your first hotel, all they need is the tourist mooring. It gives you 45 tourists. That's going to allow you to unlock their need for bread. They consume 1 ton of bread per minute. I believe when we no, not shift Control Q, not Control G. I believe we were making more than enough bread. We're not really making that much bread. I'm going to have to bump our bread production up considerably here. But we will unlock the bread. Once you get the bread unlocked, that will actually give you enough people to unlock the variety theater as well. So our first variety theater does need to be covered, and I'm going to go ahead and connect that up. Let's see. Oh, I was really hoping to be able to connect it up right here, but it's not going to be a thing, unfortunately. I don't really want it around this botanical garden, and I will tell you why. You want your cultural buildings that are being covered by a bus stop to have a minimum of 300 attractiveness. If they have less than 300 attractiveness, you're not going to get full accessibility from the bus stop and the bus network. So I really don't want him on that, covering that. So let's move this and let's put him right here. So he does at least cover the variety theater where I want him to go, but he won't get in the way of the botanical garden right there. Now, you can see we do have a little problem here in that our variety theater is not at 100%. It's because that bus stop is so far away from the other one. So what I want to do is add another bus stop. I'm thinking to add one right here would be a good idea. And let's see if that helped it. Not going to quite help it, is it? Okay. It is a little tricky getting the buses and stuff exactly where you need them to go to be able to pick everything up. I bet if I moved him right here, it would work a little bit better. Let's do a little quick rearranging right here. That hotel there. Let's put that bus stop not there. Let's move him to here. Let's see if we'll crank up to 100. Still not quite doing it. It can be really annoying sometimes trying to get them within range where they will work. I'll go ahead and warn you. It can be a little aggravating. The other solution, of course, is just to toss down another variety theater somewhere that's a little bit closer. Or move bus stops. Alright, it's not going to get any better than 98%, it looks like, unless I absolutely move the whole thing around. And so you know what? That's going to be fine with me. I'll just leave it like that. This hotel right here is not going to be that great anyways, so it's fine. What we'll do is we'll go ahead. I do want to go ahead and at least get a few of them down, so we're going to get one right there. Yeah, he's much happier. And see, we've already unlocked the need for bread now with the second hotel and the variety theater. See, he's gonna be short one tourist, which is kind of but it's not the end of the world. Oh, I did not mean to click that. Okay. If he's not going to do any better than that, then I'm just going to move this kind of all back to where I had it in the first place. Yeah, I'll just move it back. 2%. Yeah, I'm still getting the same amount, so it's like it's not the end of the world. All right, so there's 2 hotels to start. Let's see, where did I have some more at that I wanted to build up? Right here. And we're going to put a bus stop right there as well. Now he will get the Variety Theater access from this one right here across the street. So it will work a whole lot better. Okay, see, here's the problem. I'm collecting that botanical garden right there, but that botanical garden has absolutely horrible attractiveness. So I want to get him outside the range of that because I don't want him picking that up. There. So now he's outside the range of it, and that's good for me. All right, so there's our first 3 hotels in the city. Going to want to go ahead and do a little more, a few more bus stops and a few other spots. I want to get one right here to collect that palace, or to pick up the palace, not collect the palace. Collecting the palace would be kind of weird. I want to put one here. You'll see why in a little while. I'm going to stick one right here, and I'm going to go ahead and get another 2 hotels right there. All right, so that gave me 5 hotels. I think that's where we're going to start our little adventure, is with the 5 hotels. Oh, right, this guy up here can get something. And now we're going to put this one right there to pick that up. Cool. Having a good bus network is going to be really, really crucial. No, actually, I do have these double roads right here. And the double roads are actually really, really nice to have. So I think I definitely want to do that. Also want to put one down here to connect up to the docklands. People do need docklands access eventually. All right, so there we go. There's our first set of bus stops going down through there. We're picking all of that up. I'm pretty sure I talked about it in my my pre-release guide, but things like the World's Fair, Docklands, the Palace, what else was it? Was that it? Was World's Fair, Palace, and Docklands, yeah. Those are all infinite range, so it doesn't matter where you put them as long as they have access. Then they will, as long as they're covered by a bus stop, they'll get access. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay. There's the first 2 of those. I'm going to get one right there for that. And I would really like to have another one like right about here, I think. And here she is talking some more. We'll talk about everything she's talking about here in just a moment, because she's a little bit of a jibber jabber. Okay, so there's a reasonable setup right there for everything. We have some damage over here too. That's not good. Let me just make sure nothing else is blown up on me. Okay, yeah, we're good now. Anyways, back to my tourists here. All right, so we've got a decent amount of hotels got started. We've got 5 hotels going, and we've got our buses and stuff set up here. We take a look right here under our needs. Everything is okay at the moment. But we know we're going to need more bread now, so let's go ahead and get the bread up and running. We don't need much bread, just a little bit. Was I already importing bread? I honestly can't remember. I don't think I was, but I'm going to start importing bread. I think. Or should I really import bread? It's really not that crucial. Nah, I'm not going to import bread. We're just going to toss that down there. Make it as I need it. Let's get another granary. And... Not granary. Granary. Another flour mill going. We'll get that one... Alright, right there. Does that take care of it? That takes care of it. Cool. Should still be okay on the grain. Yes, we are. Alright, so that's going to take care of the bread. So that takes care of the bread. We are also doing fur coats now, and I think we're okay on the fur coats. Yeah, we're okay on the fur coats for the moment. Now remember, I am going to have 5 more hotels at the end, but we're going to start with this right here to get us going. All right, so the little quest that popped up right here was for the tutorial on the restaurant. It wants us to build a restaurant connected to our bus network and choose a dish. Now, the restaurants are really... To me, they're really geared for like artisans and below. And I'll show you. Let's take a look at it real quick right here. If we take a look at these recipes and we pop over here to take a look at them, you can see right here, the first one we start off with is the stroganoff, bread, fish, and chocolate. Now you might say, oh, but there's chocolate. Well, it's only a 10% reduction. But look at that fish reduction and look at the bread reduction. The stroganoff is one of my favorites, actually. Fish, sausages, and... Actually, not stroganoff. Fish and frites is one of my favorites. I'm sorry. Fish and frites. The only problem with frites is you need 1,250 tourists to unlock the need for citrus. So, a good one just to kind of start out with, honestly, is the stroganoff. But we can't do that one just yet until we do a quest. So we have to start with the Archduke's Schnitzel. So what I actually want to do with the restaurant is I want to put it somewhere where it's actually going to be beneficial. Again, I don't really see me putting restaurants too much around my investors and engineers, honestly. Bread, sausage, the beer, the rum. Rum is not a big deal. The 5% beer is like, whatever. But that fish and frites, I mean, that's pretty good. You know, the coffee for the engineers, the canned food for the engineers and artisans, and the bread for the workers and artisans. The stroganoff goulash is pretty good if you want to put that over, you know, a mix of farmers or really actually workers and artisans. But I don't really have a lot of that. I have a little bit of it, but not much. So I want to think about where I'm going to place it, and so I'm probably going to do fish and frites eventually. So you still will at least want one close by to your hotels. That's going to be like your main one. So I'm thinking that this will be like our main one to start, and then we'll get some others. Like we'll probably get one over here. We'll probably get one like over here in this area. Yeah, I'll probably spread several of them out. But I need one close to all of my people to start with. And I love the look of these buildings. They are absolutely phenomenal. I do wish they were 3x6 and not 4x6. It does trigger me slightly that they are not a perfect size. You know, guys know how I feel about that. Alright, let's see if we can't make this work out a little bit better here in terms of its location. Got a chiffon, okay. You know, and that's an okay spot for him, but I think over here is a better spot for him, to be honest with you guys. He covers a little bit more. I mean, he does cover a lot of investors right there, but I'm feeling like this might be a better spot for him. Oh, that's right. Depending on what I do have some good stuff in him, though, for the others. Okay, let's do this instead. Let's move this to here. Okay. And then we'll put our first... Oh, no. Not build one. We'll move that to there. And put a road in behind it. Got ourselves an achievement by the busload. Lovely. And just because I know some of you wanted to see it, let's take a look at some of the new decorations here. I want a city map right here. I think that would look cool. We have lots and lots of cool decorations. And we have some of probably the best decorations ever in the game. And that is cherry seats with trees. Something I've been asking for literally ever. I feel like a newspaper stand right there is proper. So we're going to have that put in. And right here, I'm probably not going to do a whole lot. I may just put in a little postcard vendor for fun. Yeah, there we go. Just a fun little postcard vendor right there. All right, so here is the restaurante. So we're going to choose the recipe. We're going to choose that Archduke's Schnitzel and get it up and running. Now, the only thing is it does need access to a warehouse. So we do have to have a warehouse in the city somewhere close by. It does have a pretty good range on it in terms of, like, you know, how far it will go to look for stuff. So that's handy that it does have a nice range on it. Let's see where I might be able to squeeze ourselves in one of these. Thinking right about in here. That's a long ways off from it, but it doesn't really matter how far away it is. I'm going to turn the the voice back up just a little bit. So just a little bit, just a touch. Okay. I really wish he reached a little farther over here and I could redo this and add him in over there on that side, but can't. So I didn't put one here in the stream because what I did on the stream was more like just get things in so we can see them and, like, you know, ooh and odd how cool it looks. But now placement matters. Now placement matters. Actually, yeah, this will be a good spot for it. Goodbye. There we go. All right, little warehouse hidden back off in there. He's going to go there and pick up some pigs, tallow, and potatoes. Let's make sure we have those goods available. We don't have enough potatoes, but we can get that. And we have more than enough tallow. So we just need a few more taters. Pretty easy thing to supply to our people here. Just a few more taters, precious.
Altruism?
Again, all these decorations are going to be able to go. I'll bring that over there.
We're taking every...
All right, there we go. All right, that should give me just enough potatoes. It does. Good. Okay. Now, let's take a look at some stuff that's going on here. We've unlocked quite a few things now. We've got the variety theater going. We've got the bread unlocked. For coats are going. We do need access to a zoo. I can explain things, lady. Don't you worry. I can explain everything. So we're gonna get our zoo covered here. No other achievement. I love getting achievements. Busman's Holiday. We'll take a look at all those achievements later. So we now have a zoo in the network. That's awesome. They have good zoo coverage. Their zoo coverage is a little low, but it's okay. I mean, as long as you have above, I believe it's 50% on a lot of this stuff, then they are perfectly fine.
Are soon to follow.
Now, their restaurant is a little low, but again, I figured he would be, and he's perfect. I figured this one hotel would be
I would
the
like to
hotel
note
that's a little
that the
sad.
restaurant is fresh produce.
Okay, so here is the quest that you start to unlock your second recipe.
Where do you normally take all your foodie tours?
She wants us to select a facility that produces health and fresh food. So I know that I'm going to want to unlock the fish and frites, which I know I'm mispronouncing that, and I don't care. I know I want to unlock fish and frites, so there is a very particular decision that you have to go through. So let's first select that. Anything you click doesn't matter. As long as it's a grain, red pepper farm, potato, cherry, or hops farm, you will get this item. Unfortunately, this item is kind of garbage. It lowers productivity for those things. It does add +10 attractiveness, so if you're into attractiveness farms, then hey, that's a good idea for you right there. Now, this is for the new recipe. Okay? If you choose the seafood option, it's going to lead you down the path to getting the fish and frites. If you choose the meaty option, it leads you down the path of getting the stroganoff. So I want that fish and frites, so we'll do seafood. Now, on this choice right here, if we do the embassed lobster, it will unlock the last dish, which is for the embassed dish, which was, if I go back and find it, it will unlock the lobster chimney right here, which is kind of meh, okay? So I'm not a big fan of that one. So we're going to stick with fresh fish. And this unlocks the recipe
I shall inform your cooks.
for fish and frites. Now, you do want to complete the quest that it gives you to do this, because it does lead on to some more quests that help unlock some things later that you need to build the Iron Tower. So you do want to get that up and running as soon as possible.
Come,
All right,
hunters ought to
let's just keep working our way down here. Now we need jam. Jam is produced at the Orchard. The Orchard is a brand new building that we have. It has the same size as a lumberjack. One of these right here will supply, I do believe it is 2 hotels.
wake me up.
We'll take a look at it here in just a second. So we're going to select the jam product. If we go right here, I believe it's 2. Of course, it doesn't tell me yet. This also has the longest time in the world. So I'm going to pause the video real quick while this takes its time. That way we can look at the production on it. All right, and it is finally up and running. So this produces every 30 seconds. And so that's 2 per minute. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a supply of 2. And I said 30 minutes, 30 seconds. So that's a supply of 2 per minute. Yes. I all of a sudden, my brain just went like, eh? Yeah. Anyways, 2 per minute. So we are going to need at least 3 of these to get us started here. So I'm going to go and put one up here. And I think I'm going to put one right about here. Now, you can copy and paste these, and they will turn into the exact same things as they were before, which is pretty nice. Which I did not do, but you can if you want to. So if I copy and paste it, it instantly turns into an orchard jam instead of just a plain old orchard. So, all right, those are up and running. That's up and running. So that will take care of our need for jam here in a second. All right, we did unlock this. I'm going to turn the jewelry off just for the moment. I'm not ready to dive into that right there. We do have the botanical garden unlocked right here. So let's get a botanical garden connected up to the good old network. I'm going to take that one out and put in a road right there. Then I really ought to do one more somewhere else. I'm going to do one right over here. See, it's really not picking up much from that, so that's kind of unfortunate. How is this right here doing with the botanical garden? It's actually fine. Sometimes the ranges on things are a little weird at times. I don't quite get it. You know what I could do, and I probably will. No, I don't want to turn that around. There's a railroad right there. Never mind. Not turning it around. All right, so that takes care of some of our happiness for botanical gardens, museums. Again, it's not a perfect supply. I am going to go through later and really work on these bus stops a bit more and get some more of them squeezed in there to help with the supply of all that stuff. The number of bus stops can matter, especially with distances. So the more bus stops you have, the better the supply. You can technically like spam them on top of each other to get 100%, but you know, don't do that. Don't be weird. All right, the next thing we need is a cafe. So I'm gonna pop that cafe, I think, right about here. I think that's where I want it. I want it there. You know what? This is fine. Yeah, no, I'm busy right now. All right, so the cafe here. Cafe has some very, very nice things in it. The first one you start out with is the donut. You get coffee, chocolate, and schnapps. Then there is also an eclair, the palmier biscuit, the venison tartare, and the banana surprise. The banana surprise is amazing for your investors since it does cover everything for an investor. The palmier biscuit is still a pretty decent one as well. It helps out with it's kind of a weird one because it's like investor, engineer investor, and then worker artisan. So it's a bit more of an odd one. This is another odd one right here with what it has, and the same with the donut. Honestly, on this one right here, I'm mostly going to be sticking with the banana surprise on it. Just because it does decrease 20% chocolate, 5% champagne, and 10% coffee. I just find that one a little more useful for where I'm going to have the cafes. I may put a cafe like maybe over... See, I don't even know. It's like artisans and engineers maybe. So I may do a palmier biscuit one, let's say over like here. Maybe like where I have like, or up here possibly, where I have a lot of artisans and engineers in these areas to help kind of decrease the bread and coffee consumption. Now the question, yes, you can stack these. You can stack the recipes from everything. So yes, you could technically get 10, 25, 40, 55, 65% reduction in coffee if you stacked all of these recipes over top of your engineers and your investors. You can get that. And then, you add on top your restaurants that have even more coffee reduction. There's another 5% right there. So that's 70%. And then the bar, which will be coming up very soon, decreases it further. So yes, you can stack the recipes. The only problem with stacking, with having so many, is that it does take tourists. You have a tourist workforce, so it does take workforce. And then, of course, there is all of the inputs. You need 1 per minute of each input. So for this one right here, let's go ahead and get that donut going. It does take jam, flour, and some tallow. So let's get that one up and running. And let's check to make sure we're producing enough. We're more than enough tallow. Let's see, jam. We're going to need 1 more orchard. What was the other one that it needed? Flour. Yeah. So we need a little more flour and a little more jam. So let's get another one of those plopped down somewhere. All right, beautiful cherry orchards are going to be right up there on the cliffside. It's going to look really nice. All right, and we need another one of these somewhere. How's that looking on the grain? It's still good on the grain, so that's going to take care of that need. Cool. I'm going to put this on up to 2 times speed. Yeah, jam is going to take just a few to get the jam and stuff in, so. All right, so we have to wait a little while for the jam to come in now to fill up that need right there. We've got most of our happiness fulfilled. You know, I know some people are going to be like, oh, but it's not at 100%. Ah, Queenie. All right, so as you can see, we have already unlocked the Iron Tower foundations. That does unlock at 850 residents, as well as unlocking the chemical factory, because now our people need some shampoo. And we also need the palace hotspot up and running. So there's several things I need now. Oh, the palace is not actually connected up. I did not notice that. All right, palace is connected up now, so they'll be happier. Anytime you have a hotspot need that is 0% fulfilled, you will start gaining... you will start losing this right here. So they are actually unhappy because I'm not giving them jewelry at the moment. So supplying luxury goods is really crucial, because if you don't, they will consume 20% fewer goods. There are other things that can stack on top of this, such as if you have negative happiness articles in the newspaper, that will affect the news right here, and it will go into a negative happiness. That reduces restaurants by 20%. So there's several bad things that can happen if things are low. Attractiveness, your city's attractiveness matters. If your attractiveness is below 1,350, you will actually start gaining a penalty on how much you can supply on basic needs. So that's fewer people, fewer tourists, and fewer coins. So there's quite a bit to it. It is all, of course, covered in that lovely little tutorial screen right there. So be sure to go through there and read all of that, because there is quite a bit for it. So now we do need shampoo. I need to up our jewelry production and get jewelry to our tourists, and so they have everything that they need. And yeah, and we're going to be using that island that we set up down here for our chemical factory. So I'm going to go ahead and get our first one built. There is the chemical factory. As you can see, it's a little empty looking right now, but if I go in here and I choose shampoo, it is now pink. Shampoo is pink, and it does say shampoo. So it's kind of cool. They actually made it change with whatever you put in there. So shampoo does need soap, coconut oil, and cinnamon. Those are things we're going to have to supply that, but we're going to have to do that in the next episode, guys, because that is all the time I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're excited for tourist season. I hope you're having an amazing time with tourist season yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, take care, guys.